Happy Easter Sunday, all the viewers. It's the 31st of March 2024, and you're most welcome to the NILEcast weekly news roundup on your West Nile television, where we give you the highlights of the news bulletins of the week every Sunday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. My name's Okumiringa Christine. Let's dive straight into the stories that made headlines throughout the week. Ara City Council received 4,442 land files that were handed over to Ara District local government in a ceremony which took place at the Arua District Council Hall. Take a look. The leadership of Arua District local government officially handed over a total of 4,442 land files to the Arua City Council in a handover ceremony which took place at Arua District Council Hall. The LC5 chairman, Arua District, Honorable Alfred Okwonzi, appealed to the Arua District Chief Administrative Officer and Arua City Town Clerk to ensure formality, teamwork and transparency in the handing over of assets from Arua District to Arua City.
We still have lots of assets to be handed over to the city, including the sub-county offices. And therefore, by yesterday, the message I got was that, you see, we had directed the community services to relocate here so that the files go into one of the rooms there. The two rooms can be used by committees for meetings and other things. I would love to say here that by yesterday, the DCDO, the District Community Development Officer, relocated already. And what Cow needed to do is write to City Clerk and formally sit like this and hand over. I would like to appeal to the two, City Clerk and the Chief Administrative Officer of Arua District. We are not stopping there. We are also very soon relocating RDC. Very soon relocating Bishop. But we should have documents showing we honorably handed over these things like this one.
I am extremely very grateful Arua District that today we are enabling people, because personally I've also been getting very phone calls. People even coming to my office that we have a problem with our land titles. But I knew where the problem was. But now I can quickly direct them and tell them where to go. However, like requested, our doors are going to remain wide open, including mine. RCC, you get any challenge of these files to make life much easier for you in as far as these files are concerned.
His Worship Honorable Wadri Sam Nyakwa, the Mayor of Arua City, appealed to the Arua District leadership to share space and management facilities for the land files until the City Council can identify a designated space.
This is a main files. We don't really have space, but if you went to our place now where we're handling our land files, it's really pathetic. And other people who have bad intentions, when they accept those places, they can pilfer them and go with them. So we are going to achieve this. We have achieved these files. They were not got here, but let us take them back. Give us a corner there where people come and sit here. We can share. When you are bored of sitting hours, don't come until you find some good space. We have been asking for money from the central government. They have given us about 300 million to start an office for the central division. Yesterday I asked them to come and demolish some of those dilapidated structures so that they put here. We were at RCC because of the issue of space. We're going to take these files. The corner which is previous. I will ask you to deploy police immediately after here. Take charge. And the black makes a report to the Minister of Lands.
Charles Ichogor, the Arua's resident city commissioner, thanked the handover team for exhibiting cordial behavior in the handing over of the land files. Charles Ichogor further urged the leaders to formulate a formidable team that will expeditiously manage the land files for the benefit of Arua City citizens.
I think it's the day the Lord has made. Because we are receiving these files today, people have been having pressure from the citizens coming to ask me about the whereabouts of the files now that the city is an independent entity. But today we have done it, and I would like to thank the district leadership, the district chair, RDC and COW and your teams for exhibiting cordial relationship between the city and the district. I would like to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, in some areas, this handover will have been through court. Through court. There is a lot of war outside there between the new cities and districts. But I thank you for your wisdom. I thank the city for being patient to allow things move professionally. And today we are all handing over the files. You now have a lot of work. We want these files, these posts off, so that our citizens are very comfortable, so that Arua city develops. Get your formidable team to sort them out. I don't doubt the chairperson landlord. He can ably handle it, but he needs a team to help him sort these things so that they are expeditiously handled to the benefit of our citizens here in Arua City.
The transfer of the land files from Arua District to Arua City local government has faced challenges since the creation of the cities in 2020 due to the expiration of the tenure for members serving in the District Land Board and the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development delays in the communication of guidelines for file handovers. Okumaringa Christine for West Nile Television, Nilecast. And more in our stories, as thousands of Christians across the world celebrated Good Friday as they mark the way of the cross in solidarity of the sufferings of Jesus Christ, Christians in Chambou district have been urged to embrace the love of the Holy Cross and the power of forgiveness to overshadow all persecutions. Take a look.
Christians in Chambou Nebi Catholic Diocese have today joined thousands of Christians across the world to celebrate Good Friday as they marked the way of the cross for solidarity to the sufferings of Jesus Christ. Speaking to Reverend Father Charles Upento, the parish priest Nyapaya Catholic Parish, reminded the Christians to be good followers of Christ and preach the gospel without fear. He thanked the Christians for remembering the suffering and death of Jesus Christ on the cross.
Christ is our own suffering, and also the resurrection of Christ is our own resurrection. And when we come all the way from Mundale to the parish center, which means we value the salvation of Christ very much. We as Christians, we cannot live without Christ, and we are always working towards our salvation. And that's why we are able to walk even this sun heat in this long distance, because we know God is with us and we want also to attain that salvation. And that's why you see every Christian has endeavored to move without tiring up to the parish center, because they only don't work for the world here, or they work to remain in this world, but they are working for their salvation by walking all that distance. And that's what it means for us, especially the Christian faith, with the Christian faith and with the Catholics. It matters a lot. It is the center of our life, especially with the Christians and Catholics.
Gabriel Ukumu, Koro County Member of Parliament, who also joined the procession from Mundale to Nyapaya Catholic Mission, called upon Christians who are in attendance to understand that Christ is the source of every truth required of a person, as he also reminded women in churches to stick to the rules of Christ in their marriages. He further advised the Christians to embrace the love of the Holy Cross and the power of forgiveness to overshadow all persecutions.
Good Friday is the bedrock for our faith Christians. It is because Christ was crucified, he died, he was buried, and he rose. That is why our faith is living till today. Had Jesus not been gone through Good Friday and he resurrected, then there would not be any backbone. So the whole week and the journey, the 40 days we had as Christians is now reaching its climax. And today really is pivotal, is key to the life of all Catholics and Christians. I traveled. I was in Parliament yesterday, but I made sure I wanted to come and remember this day with my voters, especially here in Nyakaya. I have not had the chance to move with them in the journey of faith. It was truly very memorable. Very far away from the valleys, from Mundeli up to here, our dinari, which you can witness how God from nowhere made miracles.
Scholar Theodore Mongo, one of the Christians, recalled how useful is the way of the cross as it enriches lives of believers.
In Christ, a believer in the suffering of Christ, it is a day that I carry my own cross, because Jesus said that for those who believe in me should carry their cross and follow him. So today I have also carried my own cross and following Jesus Christ, because that is the right path of our faith. It to deepen in my faith as a Catholic believer, and also it makes me acknowledge that Christ is my only salvation. Thank you. The 40 days of Lent was a day of self-denial. It was a day of it contains the days of sacrifices. It also meant that we were to help those who are to help others, more especially those who cannot afford certain things. So it was also a moment where we were sharing with the other people, the elderly and also the disabled and other in our communities.
Conclusively, Melania Wanitho, 80 years of age from Yogo Catholic Zone, expressed her joy to foot for over 12 kilometers during the Way of the Cross today. She called upon leaders not to use their positions to offend others, but make Holy Spirit to guide them in their leadership. Good Friday is a remarkable day in the Christian faith when Jesus Christ was crucified on the cross to save human flesh and spirit so that they can have eternal life. Alfred Jawok, West Nile TV, Nilecast.
And more in our stories. After forcefully breaking into the house of a trader identified as Aleku David on allegations of smuggling, the URA enforcement officers arrested Aragona Nelson, the brother to the victim, and impounded 6 jerrycans of petrol, 5 boxes of Uganda-made Waraji called roller, and took 3,750,000 shillings from the victim. Osuta Yusuf reports.
The Uganda Revenue Authority, which is the constitutionally recognized entity of the government charged with the sole responsibility of collecting taxes in Uganda, has yet again been involved in a nasty situation in Zawili Trading Center, Mithika Village, Azipi Parish, Oleba Sub-County, Marasha East Constituency, in Marasha District, after they forcefully broke into the house of a trader, Aleku David, at around midnight of 25th March 2024 on allegations of being a smuggler. The angry residents from the above reference stormed the office of the Resident District Commissioner for Marasha District on Monday morning around 10 a.m. seeking for explanations on why URA acted in such a shameful manner by breaking into people's home at midnight, alleging that the URA enforcement officers who stormed in the house of the trader arrested his brother, Aroga Nelson. They impounded 6 jerrycans of petrol, 6 boxes of Uganda-made Waraji called roller, and around 3.7 million shillings from the victim, something which the responsible authorities both denied by saying that URA law enforcement officer didn't pick any money from the house of the victim, which is alleged to be a smuggler. Mr. Aluma Nisheto, the chairperson LC1 Mithika village, confirmed the incidents and said the residents started gathering after the trader made an alarm and moments later he heard several gunshots. Aleku David, the trader whose home was stormed, recounted how the URA law enforcement officer who parked car on his compound started beating him until he had to run away. Mr. Ofekwa Gabriel, the NRM chairperson for Marasha district, stated that these kinds of scandals caused by URA will make mobilizing for NRM party very hard for them. SP Joshua Kananura, the DPC for Marasha, also accused the Marasha district chairperson and some politicians in the district for mobilizing people to rise up and obstruct them from performing their constitutional duties.
My caution is the smugglers. They are very violent. The leaders, some leaders are supporting them. It is very regrettable that instead of them supporting the institutional police and URA, they find most times siding with the smugglers. And in most times, it is not easy to take them. I can cite an incident of 23rd December last year, 2023, where the chairman NRM himself, one Gabriel Fekwa, mobilized other smugglers and attacked police. They overpowered us, just wanted not to injure, to cause more life loss, and we had to let them take.
However, in response, Mr. Ofekwa Gabriel castigated URA for maltreating NRM voters and pained DPC Joshua Kananura for harassing the people by impounding their goods along the roads. Honorable Obitre Stephen, the chairperson LC5 for Marasha district, while emphasizing about working on cooperation, thanked the locals for trying to defend themselves against such gross human rights violations by Uganda Revenue Authority law enforcement officers.
You just come all of a sudden, you stop, you start harassing people, you start beating people, you start beating the suspect even before getting into his stores to pick evidence. You can imagine this kind of situation. Unless we accept to work together, unless we use practical actions of really stopping smuggling, we shall be wasting our time. We shall be disagreeing all the time. So this is a strong warning to URA enforcement officers. They look for what they faced. For us, as the people of Marasha, we don't regret the actions by the people.
Retired Captain Yasin Buga Matata, the RDC for Marasha district, who shared a closed-door meeting on Monday, 25th March 2024 with his deputy, Ms. Koliba Monica Kotevu, NRM chairperson councillors, the DPC, LC5 chairperson and URA officials, blamed the law enforcement officers of URA for using a wrong approach by going to people's home and doing their operations at night.
The truth is those are not thugs. Those are URA people. The problem is that they use a very wrong system which at night where people didn't know that these are URA people. And again, they didn't inform LC1, LC3 and others. Otherwise, the URA went, it is the informers who made those things to be like that. The informers took them there, reaching there, they got those sticks, and when starting, people came concerned. There were bars near there, so people came concerned. They started throwing the URA people with the stones.
Last year, URA's Commissioner General John Musinguzi and some Western leaders agreed to work together to determine how to tackle incitements in Western region. This follows several incidents where locals lost their lives across the regions as a result of URA operations. Efforts to get comments from URA officials were futile by the time of compiling this story. Peace Oshaki, Osuta Yusuf, West Nile TV, Nilecast.
And more in our stories, Primary 7 candidates of ANF Primary School shunned classes as a result of a fight between the school management and Margaret Azar, a businesswoman who neighbors the school, which led to the disruption of learning activities in an act that can only be described as land conflict. Take a look.
The fight between the management of ANF Primary School in Narua City and Margaret Azar, a businesswoman who neighbors the school premises, is affecting learning at the school. Today on the 25th of March 2024, primary 7 candidates at the school shunned classes after non-person defecated in the classroom, causing fear among the teachers and the learners, which is believed to be as a result of the land conflict. It is suspected that the persons behind the act of putting human waste in the classroom could have passed via the newly created gate connecting to the landing contest.
Somebody entered through this gate with the poo-poo, fecal matter. They put in P7 class. This is P7 class. Now children came in the morning and something was put up. I told them not anybody. They did wrong to remove the feces outside, but I told them everything should remain intact for you to see. The children came and became wild. They said, "Is a class actually they cannot enter." This is the first time of its kind. Something like this happening here. Two, what is that thing that they put up there? Is it witchcraft?
Now talking about shit in the classroom. Seriously, there are 2 askaris on this compound. But even to the best of my knowledge, thieves came here and broke in and took chairs, sofa, what from the headmistress to her office. From here, when there were 2 askaris here who were drunk and sleeping. Possibly that askari was drunk and he went and defecated there. I don't understand that nonsense. Anyway, that is nonsense. And it has nothing to do with me.
During a stakeholder meeting today at the school, Victor Lomori Vidal, the deputy speaker, also doubles as the PTA chairperson of the school, accused Margaret of encroaching on the school land.
And LC1, everybody who bought land here, they will testify their signatories. They signed. They will tell you, this person bought this land in this year. Me, I don't know, but they're here. This is a library of knowledge and information. They will tell you. They even know how she came and got land here. They know it. The size, they know. They will even tell you how she has encroached. They are here. But the issue here is we had decided that let's coexist. She has put her fence already, whether it's encroached or not, it's okay.
However, Azza denies the allegations of encroachment on the 3-meter land, also bordering that of Cassandra Ward, the former member of parliament for Arua City.
It's as if I'm a grabber of land. The history of this land, nobody here knows it better than me. The history of this land, nobody has more documents than me. Now that it is time to open up, I have nothing to fear. I'm going to open up and I'm going to tell the story of this place. But I'm requesting everybody should be patient and listen to me. And I may not give you my documents. I may give the police officers, but I may not give them my documents. But I've come with enough documents here that concerns the matters of this land.
Chanderu Grace, the head teacher of the school, says the conflict has scared the teachers and learners, as she calls for urgent solutions to the matter.
In fact, as a school, scared of what is happening. The issue about this land started way back before I was posted here in 2012. When I came here, we had meetings with the stakeholders, and somewhere this meeting just stopped in the middle of the road. And the meeting could not continue until the people said the issues here are beyond the school. And all this time now, around 2013 up to today, we had been in peace until also when the fencing project started.
Meanwhile, Aiko Joel, the deputy officer in charge of Criminal Investigations Department of Arua Central Police Station, calls for calm as the matter is being investigated and addressed.
It's good all of you are here. We have seen, we have heard, and we are going to report to our bosses. Where it is due, we shall investigate, and we shall be guided by the resident state attorney. We forward the file. But where necessary, we shall refer when we see it is civil in nature. So that is basically what we have come. We have heard, we have seen what is on ground, and if documents are there, we shall have attachments.
The landing debate is about 3 meters in size, which Margaret Azza claims belongs to her, as the school management committee also claims ownership of the same land. Farish Majid, West Nile TV, Nalcast.
And more in our stories, Honorable Kuruchin Grace Freedom, the senior presidential advisor, has urged women leaders from the 7 local government units of Ora County to embrace presidential initiative on jobs and wealth creation. Take a look.
Women leaders from 7 local government units in Ora County in Zombo District have been challenged to embrace presidential initiative on jobs and wealth creation. This was revealed by Honorable Kuruchin Grace Freedom during the sensitization of women on how to embrace government programs so as to empower the women in rural areas. During the meeting held to Warokemo Primary School playing ground, Zombo District, Honorable Kuruchin Grace urged the women leaders to change narratives of other women on government programs like Uganda Women Empowerment Program, OEP, Parish Development Model, PDM, Emyoga, among others.
From the parish level to sub-county and to the district, we had women group leaders, we had religious leaders, we had women councillors and women council at all levels. When we came to do a follow-up monitoring of government programs, how they were faring, according to what the Prime Minister directed us to do, when I met the women, they told me that they have been elected into leadership, but they do not know their roles and they do not know what to talk about. They don't know what government is doing. And that really sent a message into my heart, and I thought, let me come back for a one-day meeting and then we sensitize them about government programs and what they can do about support to government programs and to themselves, because all government programs are for the people. Our policy, our government policy is a pro-people policy. So all what government is doing is for the betterment of the people. Like the PDM is for economic empowerment of the people. It's also for the increased production for the people, so that they can have food, but they can also have income. And they can process and add value for some of the bulk production, so that they can get better income.
Meanwhile, Samuel Ochake, Zombo District Community Development Officer, said they have registered drastic improvement in enrollment of women to access government programs through community sensitization like Held Today. He tasked the women to be responsible to take care of their families.
And within the private sector. And that's why you also can see we have Uganda Development Bank also here as an institution that can support women entrepreneurs to build their own capacities and businesses. So basically we are here on an empowerment mission to ensure we give our women information that can help them build their own businesses, that can help them start their own businesses, but above all to ensure that our women, our grassroots women, can build income, can improve on their household income, and therefore improve on their general livelihoods. Because we know development starts at the family level.
However, Uyulu James Rona, Zombo District Chairperson, remarked that over 300 women leaders received OEP and PDM funds and is optimistic that the women will perform better than men who do not value government programs.
District. Lim moti yu kude lim ai kakani lim ai malo. Dong office mamigi gishwalo iwalim watim kutishe watim kutis maber. Dong kubati maber ginwango jatela mitadero de jatela malao doge shwiru ngoyo. Muyulwe ende kaje shwaro sede bangi kete tishi. Okay, tukawa wiro ura langi kuma wanenu muwanga yozo yole. Kawa mondo kumasha ya kaa kuzeo kumano na wanenu ngomle. Meni dong makusha kao da arabe loko wangayo ni neno maeri de gitimu. Meni waroyo maeri budget humbe binu no. Wangayo nishako ibang jadid para chairman John. Ni goyo paka nishidi Zombo Town Council. Maeri de wakete financial year humbe binu weni. Wabe shigeru maeri de wakado kudatia washido kude esha. Donc, les mokumanya climate smart agriculture no and lima eru de obetimo.
Grace Atim, the deputy RDC Zombo District, revealed that government has introduced several programs to help vulnerable women who cannot afford paying school fees and businesses. She urged Zombo women to appreciate the President of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for eradicating poverty from each household.
Women leaders from Ora constituency converged here. We were reawakening them on what the government has on the ground for them. We made them to know that the government is... So this baraza really came handy. One thing that really touched me the most is the way PDM has been taken up by our community. In fact, now we are almost at 90% in disbursement of the money that was given us for last financial year. And the leaders have also benefited. So now we have informed, we have told them that it is their role as leaders to see this PDM succeed in the community. Because they have to be exemplary. They have to show the people that what the government has given them is a seed capital that can multiply.
Among the dignitaries who attended the meeting include officials from Uganda Development Bank, Chairpersons Local Council 3 in Ora County, women leaders, among others. Alfred Jawok, West Nile TV, Nilecast.
And more in our stories, the high school dropout rate in the Acholi sub-region is being blamed on the unfriendly environment created by the escalating domestic violence in the district. The Ministry of Gender and Social Development ranks the Acholi sub-region with the highest prevalence of gender-based violence and with most children from such families being forced to drop out of school. Take a look.
In most cases, the result of any violence between couples ends up badly on children, and this is affecting the education of these children, most especially those coming from the rural setting in Acholi sub-region.
One of the biggest problems that I have seen students facing, both boys and girls, generally is domestic violence. Domestic violence, because if you see 80% of the students that are in fact the whole Omoro district, because I've moved to several schools in Omoro, almost all of them in this own setting. One of the biggest problems that we have come to realize is that most of the students, they stay with their stepmothers. Currently, the biggest problem of domestic violence has brought stepmothers, and stepmothers are giving the worst treatment to people.
According to Uganda National Examination Board, in 2016, 1.8 million children were enrolled in primary 1 class, but only 800 were able to complete primary 7 in 2013.
In fact, there was a time I lost hope in life, but what I mean, resilience always stands for me. Because my stepmother chased me from my father, that I have to look for my own place. In fact, she says her eyes does not want to see me because I will repatriate my mother. So what happened? Daddy could not withstand the situation. He had to tell me that, Priscilla, leave. Leave because my wife, I think, is much closer to me than you. So,
according to the locals in the region, men are not only beating their wives, but also chasing them away with their children and selling off the family land, leaving the mother and her children wandering at either relative place or in urban center.
I'm one of example. I have the domestic violence in my home. I'm here taking care of 4 children. My husband came and sold off my land, our land. It is a family land. So I'm just, by God's mercy, at least I've now stayed like 8 years taking care of those children.
Beatrice Apio, the senior woman teacher, Core SAS, says children coming from such family are brought to school without enough personal requirements, and in most cases, their school fees are paid late or not even paid at all.
Most of them are not able to pay to the dot the school fees and the requirements. So that affects many areas of studies. One of them is that affects the reporting to school. When the students are supposed to come to school in the first week, you find that other students are coming in the second week, others in the third week. And when they come late, they find when their friends have already been they have done correction for the previous term assessment. They have also learned something much, so it's not easy for them to cope up.
Catherine Lamwaha, the woman member of parliament for Omoro district, is currently moving to all the secondary schools and tertiary institutions in the district, providing career guidance, motivating children, especially girls, to avoid early pregnancy, stay in school, and finish their educations.
May I walk without shoes, my dear. Then I can buy the shoes I want. It's just a matter of time. I went to school hungry. Yes, strong resilience. When I started Form 5, Form 6, going to the university, I didn't have the fees. I didn't have the tuition. It was difficult for me. Who came into my help? The Archbishop of Bulu Archdiocese, John Baptist Odam.
According to Lamwara, the high rate of teenage pregnancy in the region, especially in Omoro district, is crippling the education of young girls, especially in the upper primary class, and this is becoming a burden to the district.
There are issues to do with level of illiteracy in the community. When you compare the literacy rate of the men and the women, you find for the women is quite higher than for the women. And this trickles down up to the schools. When you look at the schools, the enrollment at schools for the girl child is very high at enrollment stage. P1, 2, 3, 4 is very high, but in higher classes it gets so low. And those who succeed to go to secondary, there are very few always. So there's high level of dropout of the girls from school compared to the boys.
According to a report which was released by Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development in 2013, Acholi sub-region was leading in Uganda in the prevalence of GBV cases, which stands at 78%, and in most cases, children are victims of this violence. Stephen Okedo for West Nile Television, Nile Cast.
And more in our stories. Heavy rains coupled with strong winds destroyed property worth millions of Uganda shillings, ranging from buildings, food crops and trees in the villages and parishes of Logiri sub-county in Arua district. At least 50 households are said to have been affected, leaving the victims asking the Ministry of Disaster Preparedness and Response to come to their aid. Take a look.
Heavy rains characterized by strong winds have destroyed property worth millions of Ugandan shillings, ranging from buildings, food crops and trees in villages and parishes of Logiri sub-county in Arua district. The heavy rains coupled with strong winds took place starting at about 6 p.m. on Tuesday 27th of March 2024, leaving many houses deroofed, food crops destroyed and a number of trees as well demolished. The affected parishes and villages include Adraka, Anyavu, Okavu, Oliba, Ozo, Jiki and Chiaba, where a number of households have no shelter now since the buildings have been destroyed by the downpour. The affected parishes and villages include Adraka, Anyavu, Okavu, Oliba, Ozo, Jiki, and Chia plus surrounding areas, where a number of households now have no shelter since their buildings have been destroyed as a result of the downpour. Here are some of the affected persons narrating the ordeal and how the storm has affected them, since most locals say it's the first of its kind to happen in the area.
I don't know even I'm going to do with this my two children, because there is no food we are going to eat. Everything's were destroyed and the roofs were all destroyed, and there is no place where even we are going to cook for these children. Government should maybe even yesterday we were about to die because these electric poles were all broken. And unfortunately, the fire was off. If the fire could have been on, we could have died even by these electric poles.
Things which got spoiled the roof of this house, and then the veranda, the big house. And then secondly, you can see the field of bananas in the valley. Okay. Destroyed completely, and also including this. Okay. The veranda there can be around 700 hours renovated. This one here can be around 100. But now banana plantation, I don't know how much it can cost it. It is completely destroyed down there in the valley.
John Bosco Rama, who is the Logiri sub-county LC3 chairman, says the property destroyed can be estimated at around 100 million, as he believes that the storm could be as a result of changes in climate.
Because the destruction is quite enormous, it's only to be done by the technical team,
I'm going to send them. They will come and do the assessment. But I think for now, the destruction is over 100 million. Like this one of yesterday, this is totally issues to do with climate change, because I don't expect anything out of this.
Odam, however, says that this is going to cost them in tax collection as a local government.
A lot has been destroyed. As government, it is going to affect us in terms of local revenue. Not only local revenue, these are taxpayers who contribute a lot of taxes to the government, and these are business people. A lot of business properties have been destroyed. I am kindly appealing to the central government to ensure that these people are at least supported with some kind of help.
Similarly, Alioni Boniface, the Aro District Nationalist and Movement Party Vice Chairperson, appeals to the government to come to the rescue of the affected families.
And I want to appeal to the minister to look at the people who gave us authority to see that actually the Wananchi are in good health, in good hands of NRM government. So I want to appeal to the minister, I want to appeal to all officers or responsible officers to come to the aid of these affected people. Some of the people, they are now homeless. Some of these, the roofed houses, people were living in them, but right now they are not there. So this is a real disaster which needs an urgent attention.
Alioni went on to add that some of the affected farmers are parish development model beneficiaries, as expresses worry on how they will be able to refund the monies.
Most of the affected farmers, they are parish development model farmers. Actually, I'm now wondering how these PDM farmers are going to be able to repay back to the circles, to their parish circles.
No injuries and deaths were ever reported by press time in the disaster, as at least 50 households are said to be affected, and now they ask Minister of Disaster Preparedness and responses to come to their rescue. Farish Majid, West Nile TV, Nowcast.
And more in our stories, Chambou University has for the first time in history taken over the management of Paida Primary Teachers College, fulfilling a dream of having Chambou University Study Center in the West Nile sub-region's border district of Zombo. Alfred Jawok reports.
The dream of having Chambou University Study Center in West Nile sub-region's border district of Zombo at Paida Primary Teachers College has come true after the university, for the first time in history, took over the management on Monday, 25th March 2024, during the handover ceremony held at the former PTC ground Paida Town Council. People of Zombo district across board showed their unanimous commitment to have the institution at the defunct Paida Primary Teachers College in Paida Town Council without any further ado. Initially, there were choruses of mixed views from Greater Nebi community after a section of cultural and religious leaders in Greater Nebi rejected the plan by Chambou University to establish their study center at the facility in a second consultative meeting that brought together some stakeholders, politicians, religious leaders, and officials from the Ministry of Education and Sports. This positive move by Chambou University comes after Zombo District Local Government on the 31st of May 2023 passed a resolution to hand over the facility to Chambou University in a council meeting. Aluka Margaret Ogwalao, the former principal by the Primary Teachers College, was overwhelmed with the unity of stakeholders in Zombo District for accepting the institution to be used by Chambou University.
This has been the long-awaited day, which was making me and all of my body members and other stakeholders of this region to be on tension. We have been on tension from the time they announced the phase out and the repurposing of the college. We have been saying when is the day, and we rest. Most especially serving without money being given to you, without even salary for all of those months. Because the district also withdrew, saying you are no longer with us. And the minister had not yet put us right.
Mr. Vincent Ochaya, the Deputy Prime Minister Alur Kingdom, who represented the King of Alur Kingdom, said that with the commitment he has witnessed, there will be hope for quality higher education in Alur land.
Things were suffering, but we were also popular. So after very many years of this also, I want to say that His Royal Majesty actually is welcoming this university for one major reason. It is within our Kerala strategic plan of promoting education right from the infantry to the last point. So you have just simply finished this mission.
Professor Eli Katunguka, the Vice Chancellor Chambou University, who was the chief guest, expressed happiness about people of Zombo district for welcoming the learning institution. The National Teachers Policy 2019 recommends the operationalization of only core PTC leaving colleges like Paida and 22 others with no option but to close automatically across the country.
Support of the local people, support the establishment of the campus. And I'm glad to see that we have that support here. We have the support of the King and the Prime Minister, who said he was a DJ. I wanted to be a DJ, but I never qualified. So the Prime Minister supports it. We have a lot of support from the local government, LC5, the RDC, the Member of Parliament, and Simon, our friend Simon Dujanga.
Under the National Teacher Policy 2019, government has provided framework to guide the professionalization of the teaching profession and to streamline the interventions aimed at standardizing teacher-related issues of all education levels. The minimum qualification for all teachers in Uganda, regardless of the level of education they teach, shall be bachelor's degree in education or a bachelor's degree with the postgraduate qualification in education. The Primary Teachers College was established in 1982 as a government-founded college in a Church of Uganda Primary School building in Vogo Upper Primary School in then Nebi District. In 1989, land was allocated for the college, where it is currently sitting on 80.9 hectares in Dunga Ward, Paida Town Council. However, the facility has been grappling with the challenge of land encroachment, with the board recently said has been resolved. Greater Nebi sub-region that comprises districts of Pakwach, Nebi and Zombo has only 3 notable institutions that include Pachir Community Polytechnic in Pakwach District, Ora Technical Institute War, and Uganda College of Commerce Pakwach. The coming in of Chambou University in Greater Nebi is being viewed by many people as history in the making, since the region has no university institution. Alfred Jawok, West Nile TV, Nilecast.
And with that, viewer, that marks the end of the Nilecast only on West Nile Television. Thank you always, viewers, for taking the time to be with us from the beginning of the Nilecast to the end of the Nilecast only on West Nile Television. Please stay tuned to the rest of the